Hey there, beautiful. Today we're talking about something that is personal and generational. It's also societal because it's in our bones, in our blood, in our energy. It's collective trauma. My name is Sandra Carmen and I welcome you back to my channel. This video is for you if you've ever felt like you're carrying something that isn't just yours. If you've struggled with one or more of the following: self-worth, overworking, financial fear, people-pleasing, and fear of being seen, or even a deep exhaustion that no amount of rest seems to fix. Welcome. Because the truth is, so many of our struggles as women today aren't just personal problems. They are inherited. They are patterns that have been passed down from the women before us, our mothers, grandmothers, and all the women who came before them. Some of them survived war, oppression, abuse. Some of them weren't allowed to speak, to vote, to say no. And whether we realize it or not, we carry their unprocessed pain. So today we are addressing the following: what collective trauma actually is and why it affects us so deeply. How unhealed feminine wounds show up in work, love, and self-worth. Why individual healing isn't enough. We need collective healing to break the cycle. And how nature, business, and the laws of energy show us the way forward. And most importantly, what we can do about it together as a collective. And if this speaks to you and you want to go deeper, I also offer one-on-one sessions to support women and non-binaries in breaking these cycles. I have a whole online course as well called Cycle Aligned, where I teach how to sync your work and daily life with your body's natural rhythms. Because painful periods and other issues are not the healthy norm. And we're not meant to live like this, with constant struggle surrounding our monthly period. All right, let's get into it. What is collective trauma, you might ask? Collective trauma, I'd say, is different from personal trauma. Personal trauma is something you experience, like a first-hand heartbreak, childhood attachment wounds, or a toxic relationship. But collective trauma is inherited. It's what happens when an entire group of people, women or a culture or a generation, go through a deep and painful event. And that pain doesn't get processed. Instead, it gets buried, normalized, passed down like an old story until we don't even question it anymore. And the feminine collective trauma runs deep. For thousands of years, feminine energy has been repressed, controlled, and feared. Women have been silenced, burned at the stake. I get goosebumps for their wisdom, that they're too emotional, too weak. And even today, the professional world tells us that we are not productive enough. We have to be more like men. And what happens when an entire gender is taught, generation after generation, that their softness is dangerous or somehow wrong? That their intuition is irrational? That their power is only valid if it looks like masculine power? We become disconnected from ourselves. We learn to hustle instead of flow. We people please instead of lead. We numb instead of feel. We overgive instead of receive. And this isn't just philosophy, it's backed by research. Women in corporate jobs are burning out at higher rates than ever before, struggling with imposter syndrome and feeling like no matter how much they achieve, it's never enough. That's not personal, that's systemic. That's collective trauma at work. And how does collective trauma show up in your life? Well, you might be feeling the effects of it without even realizing it. Like at work, do you constantly feel like you have to prove yourself? Like rest is lazy, like you need to work twice as hard to be taken seriously? That's trauma conditioning. In relationships, Do you struggle to set boundaries, feel responsible for other people's emotions, fear being too much or not enough? That's unprocessed feminine wounding as well. In self-worth, do you feel uncomfortable when you receive? Do you feel guilty for slowing down, for enjoying yourself, for not constantly being useful? That's not just you, that's generations of women before you who were being told that only what they gave had worth. But here's where it gets interesting. This trauma doesn't just live in the mind, it lives in the body. This wisdom of nature and the feminine body speaks to you all the time. Nature shows us the truth. Feminine energy isn't meant to be forced, it's meant to flow. Look at the 4 seasons, for example. Winter is slow, it's resting, gathering energy. Then spring is awakening. Summer is full expression, and fall is releasing or letting go. But in modern life, we're expected to be in summer mode all the time. Productive, outgoing, performing, doing. No winter, no rest, no cycles. Just go, go, go. And our bodies suffer. Women's nervous systems aren't built for constant hustle. Studies, for example, show that women's stress hormones react differently than men's. We're literally wired for cyclical living. That's why my course, Cycle Aligned, teaches women how to structure their work and self-care around their menstrual cycle instead of fighting against it, because alignment is power. And here's another reason why individual healing isn't enough, because in these modern times, most people stop at saying, oh, I meditate, I heal myself, I just do the inner work. And healing isn't just personal, that's what they forget, it's collective. If we only heal ourselves, but the world stays the same, nothing changes. If we break free from burnout, but we keep glorifying the hustle culture, nothing changes. If we set boundaries, but don't teach the next generation to do the same, nothing changes. We heal not just for ourselves, but for the women who came before us and the ones who come after. And that's why we need to find community. We need spaces where we unlearn these toxic cycles together. Spaces where we remember our softness isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Our emotions aren't liabilities, they are intelligence. Our cycles aren't inconvenient, they're nature's blueprint. So what can you do? First of all, acknowledge the patterns. Start noticing where you carry wounds that are not yours. Heal through embodiment. Work with your body and not against it. Like cycle syncing is a game changer. Check out Cycle Aligned if you want a full roadmap for that. You can build new systems like at work and love, in your friendships. Speak up and lead by example. And find community where you're not meant to do this alone, where you receive deeper support and you help each other to navigate this path, and you love each other in the process. So it's possible to write a new story for the future, because we are the generation that gets to rewrite the story. We don't have to repeat the pain of the past, of our ancestors. We get to heal, we get to rest, and we get to lead in a way without burning out, without abandoning ourselves. If this video resonates with you, please leave a comment below. We are starting this conversation together. And if you're ready to step into this work a little deeper, check out my one-on-one coaching offerings, because all women are meant to thrive, not just survive. So much love to you all. Stay soft, stay powerful, and I'll see you in my next video.